It's homecoming Saturday. You had your spooky fun Halloween. We're back at it again. Saturday, prime time, national TV, 3:30 p.m. kickoff. I'm with the people today in the student section for homecoming. Yours truly, God's favorite host, breaking down Maryland. 4-3 losers of three in a row. And boy, do they have a tough task today hosting the number two ranked team of the country. That's right. Maryland's looking for their biggest upset ever as they host number two ranked Indiana 8-0 on homecoming Saturday. We had a bye week. We're back. We got Maryland football, Maryland basketball starting. We'll get previews. Stay tuned. It's yours truly, God's favorite host. Make sure you guys stick that like button. Go ahead and sack that subscribe button. And go ahead and blitz that bell. Comment down below your thoughts on the game. Do the Terps have any chance? Keys to victory? Key players? What are you looking forward to in this game here today? Maryland and Indiana are going to do in College Park as Maryland 4-3, 1-3 in the Big Ten host the number two ranked Indiana Hoosiers, who are 8-0 on Saturday at 3:30 on CBS national TV and on the Maryland Radio Network. This will be Maryland's 103rd homecoming game. The Terps have a nice record, 62, 36, and 4 in their homecoming games. The Terps have won 4 out of the last 5 and 7 of their last 9 homecoming games, with wins against Purdue in 2016, Indiana in 2017 and 2021, Rutgers 2018, Minnesota 2020, Western in 2022. And you guys may remember, you got to go back and check out that post game after the epic win against USC last year. What a moment, what a game, just what an overall memory that was. So, homecoming has been pretty favorable to Maryland. Let's see if that continues. Something to think about this Saturday or today, should I say, against the Hoosiers. Now, the Maryland secondary has been dominant. They lead the Big Ten and rank second in the nation with 14 interceptions through 7 games, trailing over only Southern Miss, who has 15, and they've played 18 games as well. Malik Washington is among the top true freshmen in the country. He joins Jaron Kiwi Sagupolite of Cal and Houston's David Pilland of 2010 as the only power conference true freshman to throw for 200 yards in each of their first 7 career games in one season. Now, also, the Maryland defense leads the FBS with a 1.57 turnover differential. They have forced 16 opponent turnovers and they've only committed 5. That is going to be today as well. And Daniel Wingate is tied for 6th in the Big Ten with 65 tackles, leads the team in tackles as well. Maryland has 22 sacks on the season, 3rd in the Big Ten behind Indiana and Minnesota, which we'll talk about with Indiana. 8 games played, 17th in the FBS as well. Now, we also cannot forget the offensive line. The Terps O-line has only allowed 3 sacks through 7 games and only 2 against Malik Washington. They're tied 3rd for fewest sacks allowed. He had a season best 94.3 pass block grade against UCLA, according to Pro Football Focus. Real quick with the Indiana game, real quick with the Nebraska game, real quick with the Washington game. Pretty much to break it down real quick, if you missed it, Maryland didn't play 60 minutes. They played 3 quarters, they played 3.5 quarters, but you got to play 60 minutes. And we know Mike Locksley is winless after buys. Can he change that? He's going to need to change that. He's the highest paid employee in the state of Maryland. It'll be intriguing to $13 million buyout. What will they do at the end of the season, especially if this team continues to potentially struggle, but they need 2 wins to become bowl eligible. Now, Maryland and Indiana have met 13 times, dating all the way back to 1934. The Hoosiers lead the all-time series 8-5, 6-5 advantage since they've joined the Big Ten. The Terps are 3-2 here in College Park. Last year in Indiana, Maryland got whopped 42-28. I remember that game. That was Now Maryland has scored at least 28 points in 4 out of the last 5 against Indiana, the longest streak against any Big Ten opponent. And Maryland has won 3 of its last 4 games against Indiana, with wins coming by a combined 30. Because this is where it gets fun. Maryland is 21.5-point underdogs. Now, does Maryland cover? That's probably the biggest question. Over under 50.5. I take the over. I think Indiana may cover the spread. They're a really good team. The weather's going to be fine for football. A nice November day. We are in the month of November. Change your calendars and don't forget to set your clocks back as well. Daylight time starts tomorrow. You look at Francisco Mendoza, potential number 1 pick, 24 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. Roman Hemby, we know that name, former Terp. And Surratt is a really good receiver as well. Now, Maryland's post-bye week struggles aren't any easier. The Terps are 0-10, as I mentioned, under Mike Locksley after a week off. So looking to avoid an 0-11 start. But it's not the same old Indiana Hoosiers. And they've passed every test thrown at them this season, 20-17 prior to the bye against UCLA. And then the next week, Indiana demolished UCLA by 50 points, 56-6. It could get ugly in Terpsville today. Now, the Hoosiers were 11-2 last year, 8-1 in the Big Ten. They're 8-0, 5-0 in the Big Ten this year. Curt Cignetti, it starts with him. He's bought a culture. He's bought just an overall new way of thinking with Indiana. It's not just a basketball school. They're now a football school. He has revitalized this program since arriving in 2023. 11 wins were a program high, and he was named the Home Depot National Coach of the Year. And he didn't inherit a spectacular team. He had an 8-game improvement. He bought a lot of transfers in, and he bought in the right people in recruiting. Now, he was at James Madison, bought a lot of his guys over. They were really successful, 52-9 in 5 seasons there. And he became the first coach to lead an AP Top 25 ranking in its first year from FCS to FBS. Now, they did lose 27-17 last year to Notre Dame this year, and they look even better this year and showing that it was not a flash in the pan. Real quick, players to watch for Indiana, Fernando Mendoza. Let me say his name right because you're going to hear a lot of that today and maybe on Sunday. He is a transfer from Cal. Mendoza. He's played himself into first-round conversations, even the number 1 pick conversation. He's a redshirt junior, and he's a Heisman candidate, 1,923 yards, leads the nation with 24 touchdowns, just 3 interceptions. And I didn't know he was this big. He's 6'5", 225, big arm, mobility, and he has some athleticism as well. I talked about Roman Hemby. He's back in the show. He's a redshirt senior, so this is his last year, I believe, potentially. Now, he is able to run the football between the tackles very well. He did it with Maryland. I think that's something missing with this team. They have a lot of guys who are good at getting outside, but they don't have that bell cow, that battering ram between the tackles and get 4 or 5 yards to carry. He's the leading rusher on the Hoosiers, 513 yards, 4 touchdowns, and a nice 131 receiving yards as well. And he had 17 carries and 2 touchdowns against UCLA on short yardage. On the goal line, that's where he does his best work. I really like him. I wish he was here. And it didn't work out. But, you wish him the best because he's playing potentially for a national championship, something I'm sure he didn't even know was possible when he went to Indiana. He just wanted to be and get an opportunity to win. Now he's really getting an opportunity, and Indiana found a nice piece with Hemby there as well. Elijah Surratt, receiver, he wears number 13, leading receiver, 45 catches, 609 yards, 10 touchdowns. He's receiver 1. They have an aerial attack, and he's 6'2", so he can catch the ball, contested catches, has a good catch radius as well. He has the most straight games with a reception at 43. And leads the nation in career receiving touchdowns with 35. Defensively, Lewis Moore, Number 7, Moore is a multifaceted defender, kind of like a Kyle Hamilton. Only 5'11", but 54 tackles, leads the team. 4 interceptions, leads the team. He'll line up everywhere at the line of scrimmage, deep in coverage. And he is in his 3rd season at Indiana, and he spent 1 season at Ole Miss. We'll talk more about Mr. Moore in a second. Indiana leads the Big Ten in passing touchdowns by a significant margin. 7, the next 20, 4th most pass yards attempt in the conference, 9.4, 6th most passing yards per game, 264 as well. Maryland's defensive backs will be tested like never before today. Now, one weakness they do have is 4th downs. They're 5 for 13, 38.5%, which is 3rd worst in the conference. They get a lot of pressure. They lead the Big Ten in sacks. Maryland's 3rd, but Indiana is a clear number 1, 29 sacks, 73 tackles for loss. So they swarm the ball and they will tackle you behind the line of scrimmage. The next closest team is Minnesota with 56. Maryland has struggled to run the ball, so it's going to be interesting to see if they are one-dimensional, how they hold up. This is the biggest stage for Malik Washington in his life. National TV, homecoming against the number 2 team in the country, best team he's ever played. And all eyes will be on a freshman to see if he can live up to the hype. Now, if he can play well, this could go a long way in his future as well. Now, Maryland will have to play a clean game. They run penalties and penalty yards, so they will need to fix that to win. They have done better this year, but they're still at the tops with penalties and penalty yards. So that is something they have to correct on today if they want to have any chance. Now, spoiler alert, I am picking Indiana. I'm picking Indiana to cover. I'm picking Indiana to hit the over, maybe even by themselves. Now, I don't think they're going to put up 56 or 50 on Maryland. I do think Maryland's defense is better than UCLA's, and Maryland is at home. Now, could I see a situation where Indiana maybe puts up 40? I definitely do, and I'm kind of leaning that way. Now, as we get to the keys to the game, let's look at the keys because I have a lot of keys. I have some general keys, some offensive keys, and defensive keys, and explain. Over the last weeks, we haven't played a full 60 minutes of football. Maryland has to play a full 60 minutes of relentless, aggressive, effort-led, intelligent football, intelligence, FBI-led football. 60 minutes, full throttle, give it everything you got, all gas, no breaks. Nothing is impossible. You can beat these guys. Remember what got you here. Remember the fundamentals. It's not the talent, it's the have that mindset of a winner. Have that mindset that you can get it done. Have that mindset that you will execute the things that you've been practicing over the past 2 weeks. You've had an extra week to prepare. What have you done individually and collectively to play a full 60-minute game and have a chance to shock the world? Limit self-inflicted penalties. I just said it. They are second in penalties and penalty yardage. They have to limit these self-inflicted. They have to limit these false starts. They have to limit these holdings. They have to limit these illegal shifts. They have to limit these illegal man down. They have to limit these self-inflicted, these targeting penalties, these, very roughness penalties, these pass interference or illegal contact penalties. You can't have things like that happen against Indiana. You can't give them multiple opportunities because Curt Cignetti, he will Bill Belichick you. He will run up the score. He will embarrass you in your home stadium on homecoming and send you tucked with your head between your tail. Force multiple turnovers. You got to force some turnovers. They have done a really good job this year in that department. It starts with the pressure and it starts with the guide. Not gambling. Don't take any unnecessary risk. But you have to be aggressive. Punch the ball out. Look to jump a route if you can. But don't be unwise. Be strategic in what you do. No turnovers. Maryland can't turn the ball over. I mean, if they even turn the ball over more than once, this could get ugly. And by ugly, I mean over by the end of the first quarter. They could be up 21 nothing. And last but not least, on my general keys, coaching. Don't get him. I just said it. Curt Cignetti and his staff, James Madison, just got paid. They will run up the score. They will go for 60. They will go for 70. They will do what needs to be done. They will keep throwing the ball. They will keep trying to show you that they are the best team in the country. And right now, between them and Ohio State, that is going to be an interesting matchup when they do play. Let's get to the offense. Handle the pressure. We know Indiana, number one in sacks, 29, 73 tackles for loss. So they're an aggressive defense. Do not let number 7, his name right, Lewis Moore. Look, Lewis Moore, number 7, kind of like that Kyle Hamilton. Don't let him wreck the game. As mentioned, he leads with 54, interceptions with 4. He's 5'11", but he has versatility. He can line up deep in center field or play close to the line of scrimmage, which allows for those tackles for loss, which allows for those pressures and those turnovers that they force. Next, Malik Washington. Be the best quarterback on the field. I know that's a tall task. I know that's a big ask. But if you can be the best quarterback on the field, if you can work on some of the things that you have regressed in through the first couple of weeks, your footwork, your timing, going through your progressions, your throw mechanics, not throwing every ball 100 mile per hour Shohei Ohtani fastball. You have to be the best quarterback on the field. If the opportunity is there, use your legs. If they're going to be bringing pressure, get rid of the ball quick. Know where your hot read is and know where your alternate options are. And sometimes throwing the ball away, sometimes living to fight another down, sometimes, getting out of bounds or getting down is the best thing to do. Don't try to do too much. Be you and be the best quarterback on the field. I do want to put in there also, stay ahead of the sticks. Don't be in second and long. Don't be in long because they're going to hunt you. They're going to come get you. And it's going to be a long day for this offense. If, the offensive line hasn't been tested as much, this will be their test today to see how good they really are and how much they really progressed. So if they can avoid some of those third and longs, second and longs, first down, second down, you want to be successful, that will go a long way as well. They got to find a way to run the ball. You look at that. Williams is the leading rusher, not even at 300 yards. I don't know how they're going to be able to run the ball, but they got to find a way to get a running game going. Simple as that. Because if they're one-dimensional, Indiana can get pressure. Win time of possession, limit their opportunities on offense. That's pretty self-explanatory. No drops. That's something they struggle with all year. No drops, but also Malik, don't throw the ball 100 miles per hour, but no drops. And when you're in the red zone, score touchdowns in the red zone. You need as many opportunities at the bite of an apple you can get. Do not limit yourself to just field goals. That was a problem in the UCLA game as well. Defensively, make Fernando Mendoza. Love that name, by the way. The ball and keep him in the pocket. We know he has a big arm. We know he can move. Don't let him get outside and make plays. Don't let him get outside and run around. He's very underrated athletically and has mobility. Make him hold the ball. Keep him in the pocket. And then with that, the defensive line get pressure by any means necessary against this offensive line. This may be the best offensive line in the country, definitely in the Big Ten up there with Ohio State. You got to find a way to get pressure. Obviously, we got Stewart, who has 5.5 sacks, who has had at least a half a sack in every game. We got Mathis back. They're healthy. We can't just rely on them to pin areas back every play and go get them because they will get tired. They will get worn down by the second half. They have to come up with blitz packages. They have to come up with some variations packages to get after Mendoza and his all. We talked about Hemby. We got to find a way to stop this brother. If you can keep him under 100 yards, that would be a win, in my opinion. If you can keep him at 80, 85 yards, I'll take that. Tackle well. Don't miss tackles. You got to tackle these guys well. Surratt, Hemby, Mendoza, when you got a chance to get him, get him. Don't let them wreck the game. And as you see more right there with the most tackles, don't let them wreck this game. Don't let them wreck this game. Now, one Indiana does limit or does struggle with that is a weakness maybe is fourth down. They're only 38.5%, third worst in the Big Ten. That is going to be very important if they can find a way to force them in the fourth down. And lastly, on the defense, limit explosive plays. What are explosive plays? I always say this, plays over 20 yards. Do not give up more than 2 or 3. Make them have long, sustained drives. That is going to be a key. And special teams, we love special teams. Make a play on special teams, a blocked punt, a blocked field goal, a big return, maybe a return for a touchdown, a play that can shift the momentum of the game and keep this sellout crowd, it is a sellout, on engaged and full of energy to hopefully lead you to a victory. And lastly, make all your kicks and PATs. If you do have to kick a field goal, make it. If you do have to, kick an extra point, make it. Don't do anything goofy. Don't do anything stupid. Play within yourselves. Do what needs to be done and do what they're not expecting. So, real quick on the keys, play a full 60 minutes of football, limit self inflicted penalties, no turnovers, force multiple turnovers, and coaches don't get embarrassed. Next, pressure. Don't let Lewis Moore wreck the game. Number 7. No third and long, avoid third and long, second and long. Malik be the best quarterback on the field. Find a way to run the ball, win time of possession, no drops, and score touchdowns in the red zone. On defense, make Francisco, I keep saying Dan Francisco, Fernando Mendoza, because I'm going to hear his name a lot today, so I might as well get used to it. Fernando Mendoza, hold the ball and keep him in the pocket. Terps, defensive line, get pressure by any means necessary. Stop the run. Tackle well. Force Indiana in the fourth down, 38.5%, third worst in the Big Ten, and limit explosive special teams, make a play on special teams, and make all your kicks and punts. Now, far as prediction, honestly, because I don't want this video to go super long. I'm not gonna, try to do anything crazy. I think Indiana wins. I'm gonna say 44-20. I'm gonna say 44-20. I think they cover. Yeah, I'm gonna say 44-20. I think 44-20 is a fair score. Pull away. And Maryland tried to keep it close in the first half, and in the second half they make the adjustments with the coaching they have, and Mendoza gets rolling, and I think they find a way to win 44-20. We'll see what happens though. Sign off down below. We're in the student section today. It's homecoming. We're excited. We're lit. We're turned up. We're lathered up. Maryland has won 4 out of the last 5 when it comes to homecoming. So they have USC, as mentioned, that was not expected. So 7 of their last 9 overall at homecoming as well. So that's great. Real quick, Sydney Stewart, 5.5 sacks, at least a half a sacks in 6 of 7 games as well. 4th in the Big Ten in sacks per game and 19th nationally with .79. So at this, I need a big game from you guys. I need Monachino to coach the best game of his life, calling up defensive schemes and blitz packages and pressure packages that Indiana may not have seen or that can confuse him a little bit, and maybe make Mendoza look a little more human as well. So we'll see what happens. Maryland's DBs have played well this year. Like I said, no stupid penalties, no targeting. Don't turn the ball over, force some turnovers. We'll see what happens. I'm going Indiana to win, cover, and over 44-20. Now, don't be surprised if Indiana scores 50. And don't even be surprised if Maryland gets maybe into the mid-20s, low 30s. It's not impossible because last game they struggled offensively, but when they needed to make a play, they did. I think maybe using some different types of offense, maybe going up tempo a little bit, maybe going with enough ability to, use different formation, high formation, maybe some more heavy personnel, more tight ends in the game, more play action from the league. But you got to run the ball first and foremost. Hold up as well. You got to win in the trenches on the offensive line, and you got to win in the trenches against the defensive line because Indiana may have not only the best offensive line, but also one of the best defensive lines in not only the Big Ten, but in the country. We'll talk to you after the game. We'll have some post-game thoughts from yours truly. We'll get to it because I know we have a big week. We have Maryland basketball, men and women starting this coming week, and we'll have to recap this game as Maryland then gets ready to head to Rutgers next week, which is probably their most winnable game remaining on the schedule. But sound off, let me know if you're going to the game. Let me know what you're doing for homecoming. How was your Halloween? Let me know. Comment down below. Hit the subscribe button. Hit the like button. This is your home for Maryland Terps content right here on the Flex On Podcast. Only place giving you sports how you want it when you need it. Thank you guys for watching. Saturday today, 3:30, CBS. This is literally a couple hours before the game. So CBS, 3:30. We'll see what happens. We'll talk about it later. Hit the bell, comment down below, subscribe if you haven't already, and hit that thumbs up. It costs you nothing in the world where everything is going up. Yours truly, God's favorite host. I'm out of here. Thank you guys for watching. Enjoy the game. We'll talk after. Let's see if Maryland can do the Empire. Everybody, thank you for watching.